So in this video, I'm going to walk you through different meter wall designs for a wall that's 12 feet wide, a 12-foot wide wall. It's very common in the United States. You have a 12-foot wide wall. We're going to use the ceilings or the wall, the height at 9 feet right here because that's the most common. Of course, there's 8 feet, 10 foot is somewhat taller than that as well. We'll use 9 feet for this demonstration. So we're going to start off with the standard media wall. This one's a 75-inch TV. You have the standard. You have your TV, of course. You have your electric fireplace. Then above that, in between your TV and your fireplace, you have your soundbar insert with the soundbar inside it. Right here, some people put a mantle, of course. Now, typically we recommend these at 10 inches in depth, no less than 8, no more than 16. 6 over that looks really, really bulky. So this is basically the standard. Still works out really well for a 12-foot wide wall. You can build up the rest with furniture, decorative items, or you could just paint the wall. You could also put obviously a 86-inch TV, just make your unit wider. We like our surface area on the sides to be 7.5 inches. That's been our sweet spot. I would recommend no less than 6 inches. That works out real nice. You can still fill up the sides as well with some plants if you like. Then you could also put a 100-inch screen TV in this area as well. This one fills up most of the wall. Now, if you want to fill up the most of the wall, you want to fill up all the wall, you can put shelves like this one. But I typically don't really recommend shelves just because I don't like shelves to be less than 2 feet wide, especially when your media wall is so big or your TV is so big. It can look kind of small compared to the rest of the area. So what you could do is you could just paint the wall, which looks nice, or you can add slats or stone. So like we did here, we added slats, 1x2 slats. Of course, you want to do different colors so that way it pops and has a nice contrast. Now, if you want to put shelves on the sides, then I do recommend an 86-inch TV or smaller. That way your shelves are wider than 2 feet. This one's a little over 25 inches. And if you want to take it a step further, of course, you can add cabinets, base cabinets at the bottom. You can either have someone build them, or you can buy them at Lowe's or Home Depot. You can buy 2-foot cabinets, and it should make this unit just a little wider so it can eat up the whole wall. Of course, you have your floating shelves. You can also do 2 shelves on each side as well. You have your base cabinets, and then you have your top. We like to do a butcher block top because it's like to stain it the same color as the shelves. Now, if you want to, like one thing I mentioned before I go to the next one, if you want to put cabinets, I do recommend making your unit at least 14 inches in depth, your media wall, so that way your cabinets, let's hide this, your cabinets can be at least 12 inches in depth, and then your floating shelves can be a little smaller than your cabinet. So typically, it's the deepest is your media wall, then it's your cabinets, then it's your floating shelves. So right here we have 14, 12, and then we have 10-inch deep shelves. You could also do the shelves at 8-inch, but we like a 2-inch difference on each for that one right there. Now, if you want to eat up your whole wall you want to fill up the whole wall, especially with cubbies, you can do this setup, which is very common, very popular. This one, I think we end up still doing the 14 inches in depth. So this one's real popular. Now at the bottom, I like to start the fireplace we like to start the cubbies where the fireplace. Now it looks nice when the cubby ends. The top of the cubby ends where the top of the TV opening is, but it's not necessary because sometimes you have a smaller TV, a 65 or 75, so you'll end up like right here, and in your cubby you don't want to bring that down because then you'll end up with a lot of dead space up here. So it's not necessary. This is what I typically recommend to be even right here, to start at the same spot, but not necessarily up here. This one I did it because it's an 86-inch TV, which is a little bigger than normal. Now, another option for this one, if you want like a 3D kind of like effect, you can do the bump out. Very similar to that one, but right here we recess the side sections. They recess back a little bit. This is 10 inches. You have a 10-inch, and you have 14, and so you have a 4-inch difference right here. It looks pretty nice. I really like this setup. Looks a lot better in person. Let's see where we're gonna go. And then what's pretty cool about this setup is that you can actually do this. So you can do plaster, you can do some kind of cement look, or you can do PVC or just paint it, and then you can have that really, really pop nicely, and then you still have your side sections. But my favorite is this setup right here. When this is full right here, you have this section, completes the side sections. Now this one's a little small because your wall, like it's a big, you have a big TV for your size of your wall, which is 12, I guess 12-foot wide wall. So, but it still looks nice. Your cubbies, I think it's about 18 and a half inches right there. But this wall, this setup, if you do have an 80, if you have an 86-inch TV, then I typically recommend this setup or this one. If you have something smaller than 86 or anything smaller than 85, if you have a 75 or a 77, then I recommend this setup right here. This one, see how it looks real nice, especially once you got the trim up there, trim on top and the bottom. You have that bump out. I said in person it looks a little much nicer. Let's see. Oops, let's go back to this one. So this one is my favorite. We sell a lot of these. Sell about maybe 15 of these a month. Now, if you want to have the top open, I can say, okay, well, one day I don't want like the TV recessed. I want to have it open in case I want to increase the TV size later. Buy a different TV. You can do this setup. It works out real nice. The cubbies are the same size as this one. They're let me see. I think they're 30. Yeah, 30 inches. Oopsie, right there. 30 inches, and then I think they're over here as well. 30. Yeah, yeah. So they're the same sides, and then of course the middle part's open because you don't have that. You don't have the surface area right there. And then you have the bottom part. You could just put you can actually do a soundbar insert, but a lot of times I like to just put the soundbar on top. You can drill a hole, run the cable through the back, sort of thing. Of course, you still have your electric fireplace. And then if you want to do this exact setup, you want to do an 86-inch TV. It still fits there nicely. You still have some area. I don't not recommend anything bigger than an 86. I don't recommend a 98 or 100-inch screen TV for this setup for a 12-foot wide wall because the TV is too big. Now, you could also do is you put something in the back. You can put stone, slats, like over here. We did slats, and then we did white. This is a very nice setup, very popular. This is probably our best-selling one now. People love this setup. They either do these slats, or they do beadboard, or they do stone, which looks really nice. And because you have that, you have that area where you can put a bigger TV. You can put a 55, 65, 75, 80, or 86-inch TV. Like I said, if you go higher, bigger than 86, I don't recommend the side sections for this setup because your TV is just too big. It'll end up like over here. Your cubby will be super small. Oh, one last thing, as I mentioned in my other video, one of my other videos, this is a 60-inch wide electric fireplace. I've been showing you a 60-inch wide electric fireplace. I typically recommend the fireplace to be closer to the TV opening. This is an 86-inch TV, which obviously measures diagonally. The width of it is about 75 inches. So I recommend a 72-inch TV. I mean a 72-inch fireplace. So it looks a lot more proportional. So you want to get the fireplace if you're able to afford it, to get it as wide as wide or as close to as wide as a TV opening as possible. It just looks a lot nicer, looks a lot more proportional. As you can see, this setup looks a lot better than this setup. So